Jennifer Little. I'm from Warner Robins, Georgia.
William Little from Warner Robins, Georgia. Our daughter's name is Lilly Little. When she was about 3 years old, we found a lump on her stomach, and come to find out it was a 4-pound tumor. She was later diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma. We've gone from Macon Children's Hospital up to Eggleston in Atlanta, and then later on to Sloan Kettering in Manhattan. In 2017, she passed away while we were on vacation in California.
One downside always about this world is you guys never get to hear from the dads very often. Between the moms having to travel, or one parent having to stay in the hospital and one parent always having to work, it's always important to hear from the dads as well. Because Karma was his baby, his little mini. And today's just a really hard day because it's the 3rd year anniversary. And like I said, we haven't publicly spoken about her since when she passed. We completely unplugged from social media and we tuned out all the negativity. So it's hard.
It's just hard as a father, or even as a parent in general. You want to protect your children. And there's only so far you can go. When we ran out of options in Macon and had to go to Atlanta, and then we ran out of options in Atlanta, and Jen and I sat down and we both decided that we're gonna do whatever it takes, and no matter where we have to go, that's just where she's gonna go. And we knew that we were gonna be a part. I say the toughest part at the beginning of our journey is that we didn't know, and then not knowing was the hardest thing. Because we're putting all of our trust into the doctors. We just didn't know about all the protocols until later on. We started learning a little bit more ourselves.
Being thrown into this world, it's very fast-paced. It's very, you do trust the doctors a lot. You do just pray about it a lot until you actually have to disconnect yourself, do the research, and make an educated guess on how to handle it. And another thing is having a strong support system. It's being separated from half of your family is hard. Finding other cancer parents or other people who are going through the similar journeys, having that strong support system, because we didn't have that in the beginning. We didn't have a lot of family and friends. We were the first of our family to have anybody with pediatric cancer.
Oh, there's a beautiful picture of her, and she was born on July 26, 2010. There's so much to describe about Karma. Smart, energetic, sassy. She was just...
Definitely sassy.
Yeah. She's just perfect in every way. I just wish we had more time. One thing that I know, the previous question, what you would, mention to other families is, I would say cherish every second. I know that I had to work at the time through all the treatments and stuff, but to this day it still kills me inside that I wish I had been there more. Karma loved to, she always wanted to be a police officer. She was made an honorary deputy for Twiggs County in Georgia, also Houston County in Atlanta. She later on in New York became an honorary police officer for Central Park PD. When she was at Sloan Kettering, she met a police officer there named Sarah. They became little besties. She asked Sarah, if she was real.
Karma didn't think females could be police officers. So she really pressured Sarah and was asking her if she was real, if it was a Halloween costume, or if she was fake. And she was just playing dress up and pretend. And Sarah kept trying to convince her that she was real. It was embarrassing, but funny at the same time, because she's like, it's Halloween. You're fake. Girls can't be cops. So after that encounter with Sarah, kind of just took off from there. They really did become really close friends, and Sarah would tote her around Central Park. And that's where it just started, was in New York for us. Karma was when she was being treated in New York, she fell in love with NYPD. It ran from there. When we came back home, our hometowns made her an honorary deputy as well. It was something she wanted to do, because we have no law enforcement in our family at all. She was always very proud to put on her uniform and go to work with her boss or with her partner for the day, which was always the sheriff of Twiggs County was her boss. And he'd come pick her up without me and take her to work with him and bring her back when it was nap time. She'd get tired. We both knew actually, that we wanted to honor Karma in a very different way after she passed away. When we unplugged from social media, we unplugged from a lot of the toxic people in our lives. We really relied on the small support group that we did have, which for me, Amber from FAM, y'all's vice president, was one of them. Our daughters were treated together in New York, so we were close. So about 30 days after Karma passed away, reality kind of set in. Like, I had to go back to work. I had to start making that income again. We have other kids to take care of. And I decided to go work for Houston County Sheriff's Department. That is one of the departments that made her an honorary deputy. It's our hometown. It's where we live now. It's where we moved to after she passed. And I have been there since January 1st, actually, of 2018. She passed in September, and it took the hiring process and the training process and everything took about 6 to 8 months, and I've been with them ever since. And my husband, actually went to Twiggs County as a detention officer in Karma's name, and he did that for about a year, working with Karma's boss, Sheriff Mitchell. We just figured if she couldn't fulfill her dream, we were gonna do it for her. Definitely a unique experience, definitely different than business management, because I was in the corporate world of Geico. I sold insurance, so working for law enforcement and doing what I do is definitely different. So we do it for her. I get to wear her badge every day. My boss lets me wear Karma's badge. My badge number is actually Karma's birthday. I found that out last year when I was having a really bad day. I just happened to look down at her badge, and my badge number backwards is her birthday. So I kind of just needed that pick me up, that she's always watching over me.
What would Karma say if she knew you were a police officer?
That I was crazy.
No.
What would she say?
I believe she'd be proud and excited. Anyhow,
she would tell me I was doing it wrong. That she would do it better.
I feel this is just my feeling. I feel in some ways that I guess I failed in a sense. I always tell her how proud I am of her. I always tell her how much I love her and I miss her. There's just a lot of things in life that I wish I would have been able to show her and done with her. Even though we have done a lot in a short period of time throughout her journey, I wish I could have gave her more. Yeah, I think about her every day. I have a small picture in my truck of her, and certain places I go to, I think of her telling me, hey, Daddy, go fast. She loved speed. I don't know what it was, but that's just her. She just loved loud music and she loved to go fast. So I think of those times and I continue on trying to share memories, and her legacy will go on. I love to tell stories, about her, but it gets hard, especially when I'm not breaking down right.
Another thing, too, he carries a lot of guilt because he doesn't give himself enough credit. The last year of Karma's life, we did this experimental trial in New York. At the time, only 2 kids attempted it. And part of that trial was she needed a donor. Well, I wasn't a match, unfortunately, but he was. He donated his NK cells and his blood and his stem cells for this trial. It was the last trial that we attempted. Karma had over 80% of cancer in her body at the time. We did this trial. It was a 3-week-long trial. It was high-dose chemo, breaking her down and then boosting her back up with her donors' NK cells and blood. And after we did the first round, Karma's cancer went down to less than 10%. So he doesn't see it in retrospect and that was September of 2016. He gave us an extra year with Karma with that trial. An extra year of time is what we missed the most. He gave her more time with us. He gave her his donation through NK cells and blood, and she used to run around after that trial because she was doing really well and said, what'd she tell everybody? What'd she tell everybody?
She said, my daddy saved me.
She used to tell everybody, Daddy's blood saved me. My daddy saved me. So when she stopped responding to the trial later on, he took that burden on him that he failed, which he did not. Because, like I said, it gave us an extra year with her. It gave us more time with her. It gave us more memories. It gave us more love. It gave us more of her for that time. So he carries a lot of burdens on his heart. He carries a lot of guilt that's not his own, because he loved his baby girl. He still loves his baby girl. And it's hard. I'm trying not to cry, so you're just gonna have to do it for both of us.
I am.
But I'm incredibly proud of you because you're doing it. What would Karma tell you? Be tough.
One thing all the Doctors always nicknamed her their unicorn. You know, they could never. They would think she'd go one way and she went another way. You know, and it was beautiful. I believe it was Dr. Murdoch that bought her this little unicorn jacket, and I remember one time picking her up from the airport, and she had this thing on, and I can hear her coming through the airport, you know, just screaming, and it was just...
Which is terrifying, because your child's running away from you in a crowded airport because she can see her dad before you could, and then you lose her in the crowd, and I'm just panic mode.
She was dodging. After the fact, I seen a video of her, and I could see her swerving in and out. You know, people would just get to me, and it was. She loved to play, and no matter how she felt, she didn't let it beat her. I always called her my little soldier. I remember one time after a treatment, you know, she said, "Daddy, I didn't cry." She said, y'all taught me to be tough, you know, and she said, "I'm your little soldier." It made me laugh and cry all at the same time. It just every night, you know, and every morning, you know, just being able to wake up and see her, and now I can't, you know, other than pictures and videos. And that's one thing I can say is that I'm thankful for my wife doing this, taking a lot of photos and videos, and you know, and she would always do that, you know, as far as family photos, and I'm thankful for that, you know, because it does help just having them. I just wish I had more videos so I can just, you know, hear her voice, you know. And
you know, we named her Karma for a reason. You know, do good, be good. It all comes back full cycle. And I know a lot of people become, after they lose a child to cancer, a lot of families become stronger advocates, and they do start foundations and nonprofits, or they join a nonprofit and really become advocates. For us, we weren't emotionally nor mentally prepared for that. Like I said, we haven't publicly spoken about Karma since she's passed, so becoming an advocate wasn't an option for us, because we couldn't even say her name without completely breaking down. So our decision to work for our sheriff's departments, and that was our way of honoring her, because they spent time with her. They knew how special she was. Now I get to do something that she wanted to do. I get to honor her every day. I get to keep her dream alive. I get to keep her memories alive. So after you lose a child to this disease, I would say do what's best for you and your family. For us, walking away from the pediatric world of cancer was the best decision for us to heal from it before we could come back and tell our story and really advocate and really support the other kids.
I would say for father or mother, I mean, just try to be there as much as you can, you know. I know it is going through this. I wish there was a way you could hit pause on life, but you can't. You know, life does continue to go, and do whatever it takes, you know, as far as where you have to go, what you have to do, but just more spending time with your kids, with your family, you know, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
You know, we imagine every day of what she would be like now. She would have been 10 this year. It's been a rough 3 years, but we do it every day by day. We think about her every day. We talk about her every day.
You go to see her.
We go to see her. We can imagine her with her long curly hair running around on the beach. I did a lot of the talking when Karma was diagnosed and going through treatment. I did a lot of the talking. It's nice to have him talk and share his point of view. Today's a hard day. Because like I said, today's her 3-year anniversary of passing. Like he said, we were in San Francisco. We were doing a bucket list item. And she just went to sleep in our arms.
She had her head on my chest, and I was sitting there patting her butt, and you know, she was just resting, and it was just hard when it happened. But I would say the hardest part is just every day.
That's why we say find a strong support system, find a strong people who can help you through it. We're grateful for my parents, and we're grateful for the cancer moms that we do know that are still genuine and still just praying for us and still with us. This year we've stepped out of our comfort zone and started talking more and sharing more and just trying.
I guess like myself, I kind of hold everything in instead of allowing it to come out, and so I mean eventually it's gonna have to come out. You know, bottling it up inside doesn't do any good for you. Talking about it does help. I wouldn't say it makes it better, but it helps. My support system, you know, when Karma was going through her journey, it was a lot of traveling. So majority of the time I was home or at work, so my superiors were always there for me. Organizations, you know, like FAM was there for me. Other cancer families, the dads would sometimes get together as well, and it wasn't emotional, you know, like I am now, but you know, we would just support each other, you know, and that right there, just knowing that you have somebody that has your back is what you need to get through this. And I'm grateful for everybody that has been there for us, and for Karma as well. We wouldn't have been able to make it through this, and still to this day, you know, people are there to still support us.
It's one thing I love about Amber and FAM is me and Amber talk regularly. There's a support group. I don't think I would survive without my cancer moms. Didn't have a lot of family, but we sure do have a lot of family.
You really don't know what something is until you experience it. And you know, to us it's selling, but seeing it from the other side is a totally different other feeling. You know, and to see how many kids or how many people in general are affected by cancer or by any type of, you know, rare diseases. Honestly, I believe there should be a lot more funding for childhood illnesses or cancer. You know, we could be that much closer to finding a cure. You know, if not today, maybe tomorrow.
I love you, Daddy. Karma. I miss you. Oh, okay.
You're okay? Okay, give him a big smile.
I love you, Mommy.